Hey, I just wondered if you wanted to take the Historic Garden Week tour here at my house. The fact is that my garden will never be the same as it was last Sunday, and it's already not the same as it was last Sunday. But I wanted to keep these films as a sort of a document because, it's such a new garden. It's only 7 years old. There's some really good things in it, and I want to be able to look back at what was good on that day because it was a really fun day. So I'm going to take you on the tour as if you were on the tour, like from hostess to hostess. And the first hostess would have talked about this tree, which is a Cercis canadensis. It's a red bud, but it's a cultivar called the Rising Sun. And doesn't it look like it? She also would have talked about this pathway, which used to be grass. It was one of the first things I did and all of this was grass. I mean, the trees were here, but nothing, it was just grass. And so these are all new flower beds and that kind of thing. She also would have talked about the cold frame over there. And that is where, as I'm trying to improve and strengthen my veg game and propagation game and keeping plants over the winter, if my porch becomes too crowded, I use that. And she would have directed you to walk up this way. So we have lots of pansies and violas planted from last year. We have here these old Nana Chamaecyparis, blah, 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 let's just call them Hinoki Falls Cypress, which I recently limbed up and pruned so that you can see their beautiful bark. And within them, I put a little water feature, which you sort of can't hear right now, but you could on the day. I don't know what's wrong. It's a bubbler. It's probably pointed the wrong way. Tons of people asked about this adorable dwarf bearded iris. And they said, what is it? And I said, it's an adorable dwarf bearded iris. And I'm sorry that I don't know the cultivar name. And oh, the double tulips were good, and they're still hanging on because we had such fantastic, cool temperatures. I would say that there would have been a few more of them last Sunday, but I mean, isn't it fun that they're still here? A lot of people asked about this plant. It's a euphorbia. I think what I used to have here was that variegated Ascot rainbow cultivar, and then it sort of morphed back to what it wanted to be. It's kind of an aggressive self-seeder. And then the other thing they would have said is that this holly, when we first moved here, was 20 by 20, so that the planter, which is beyond it, could not be seen. We didn't know that was there. This is my huge stand of Annabelle hydrangeas that's coming along, but they're not very interesting right now. Yeah, so that's it for that section. The second hostess would have been here, and she would have reminded people that this garden was on the Historic Garden Week tour in 1980. Is that sad? In 1988. And she would have pointed out my penchant for torturing small boxwoods, but this isn't a boxwood, this is a, well, I can't think of what it is right now, but it's something else. So I have that little collection. And planters on the porch. Oh, and these cute little magnolias. This is Teddy Bear, and he wants to get to about 15 feet tall. But guess what? Here's my rule of pruning. Only I like this tall, and that's where I can do it, and I don't have to get a ladder. And then the people would have gone this way, past this other teddy bear. This is my little dwarf cryptomeria. Look at all those tiny little pine cones. I think it's like called Dark Prince or something. I can't remember. And oh, these irises, which are so pretty because they're so pale blue, they were not in bloom, so that's a bonus. And this is my little, oh look and that tree peony was not in bloom. Glory, glory. This is my little herb garden, but the herbs aren't very visible yet, so I really planted it hard with more of those double tulips, and they looked beautiful. And then people walked this way. There were beautiful flower arrangements. Sorry, not so much today. And they would have gotten the view of the whole yard, which is kind of fun, especially if you don't know that it's a big yard. They would have started down this woodland path, and this was a brand new planting, obviously, some cute little fuchsias. These were just here, these ostrich ferns. They're perennials in that pot, they'll always come back. And of course, this is the stinking hellebore, which I should really cut back before it starts to self-seed a lot. And then down here, we have like 3 different kinds of baby mini hostas lining the path. Here's a green one, here's a lime green one, and here's a variegated one. In this garden, I did totally a fakey thing that I would never have done just for myself. This was the only thing I did just for the tour, and that is jam a woodland shady spot with a million tulips. If they come back, it'll just make me smile as a good memory of that day, but it is not a smart place to plant tulips. I just did it for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it.